The stability of DA-led coalition governments in Gauteng metros has been dunked into muddy waters. Last week's removal of Joburg Speaker Vasco de Gama through a motion of no confidence by the opposition, with the help of some coalition partners, deepened uncertainty over the future of Mayor Mpho Phalatse. After DA Gauteng leader Salim Simanga last month slammed Action SA's Herman Mashaba as childish, Action SA's Gauteng chairperson Bongani Baloyi has accused the DA of arrogance. Moloko Moloto has been following those very complex developments and filed this report.
Salim Simanga says his party was surprised by Action SA when it publicly slammed as corrupt the controversial 26 billion rand energy deal in Tshwane.
Because we understand that the future of South Africa is not just going to be just here in the metros. The future of South African politics is going to be of coalitions, whether the other parties like it or not, and we need to get it right now. And this is why we were taken by surprise. And this is why I did say, we found the action of Tate Mashaba and his party a little bit childish at that point in time, because there were systems that needed to be followed that were not followed. We all agreed on what needs to be followed.
After last week's removal of the DA's Vasco da Gama as Joburg Speaker, Action SA's Bongani Baloyi on Sunday said they'll vote to retain Mpho Phalatse as mayor if a motion of no confidence is brought against her. But Baloyi, who also calls the DA arrogant, says the party must give up positions of Speaker and Chief Whip in Joburg.
In this case, the DA has captured all three and they're running their own agenda, utilizing those and refusing for other political parties to be part of a power sharing at a troika level, which is speaking to the legislative side, the conducting council and the executive. So that has created an environment where there's a big brother syndrome, where people in the coalition don't feel that their views are being dealt with and appreciated and dealt with adequately and robustly, so where there's an imposition by the DA continuously. I think the DA has been the single biggest obstacle in these coalitions, and I certainly believe that Johannesburg was stable. There's still things we can do now to ensure that there's stability in the forthcoming challenge in Johannesburg. But if we don't give up those two positions, being of the Speaker and the Chief Whip, we're going to lose this metros back to the ANC.
One political analyst says all of this creates politicized uncertainty, and political parties are more interested in abusing government institutions for short-term gain.
The short-term gain one is talking about here is to get into political office, and when in political office to be able to access state resources. Now some parties, particularly those in the EFF, would say, but we are not accessing any public office here. The problem is not so much about whether you access public office or not. It is the kind of influence you exercise over the contracts, over the service delivery units, over the policy agenda. But if you consistently destabilize it, unattuned to what the needs of society are, then you are merely playing brinkmanship and you are merely playing expedient politics rather than any principled approach.
While the removal of the DA-led coalition in Johannesburg and Tshwane would require smaller parties to vote with the ANC and the EFF, in Ekurhuleni, all it will take is for the ANC and the EFF alone to wrest power from the DA. Moloko Moloto, Johannesburg.